Hi, this is Lisa Hanfaletti, and in this short video I'm going to show you how you can turn any Microsoft Word document into a PDF. Now, there's two reasons why you want to make sure you know how to turn your documents into PDFs. The first is a PDF makes your document so that it cannot be edited. So when you're sending people ebooks or free reports, you don't want to send them in a format that they can go in and edit it and change your name or something like that. And the other reason is because PDF is much smaller in size and it's a file that is very easily transferred. A Word document is much larger in size and more difficult to send. So for a PDF, this is a great way for your customers to download it, open it up, and read it using a universal PDF reader, all of which are free, to go ahead and read it like they would a book on their computer screen or on their iPod or something like that. So you really want to make sure you know how to do this. Now I'm also going to show you a few tips. The first is I'm going to show you how you change the document properties on a PDF. And this is just something to make your documents much more professional and to protect them. I'm going to show you how you add a copyright and page numbers and add a really professional looking cover to your document. And then I want to make sure you know how to correctly name your file so that it also is protected and it's also useful to your customers. All right, so let's get started. All right, here is my Word document, and this is just a two-page document that I put together here, and I'm going to show you how to PDF it. Yours might be a few pages, it might be 20 or 30 pages. What I'm about to show you is going to work for smaller size documents, so in that range. If your document is closer to 100 pages or more, now you probably want to start thinking about a professional PDF software. So that's something that you'll have to pay for, or you'll have to hire, outsource somebody to do that for you. For now, I'm just showing you how you can create a free report or even an ebook that you're going to sell using what you already have in your MS Word software. And again, this is MS Word 2007. Your version of Word may or may not have this depending on what extras you have. But if you have 2007, this should work. So before I show you how to actually save your document as a PDF, let me make sure that you know how to edit the properties and make sure that they're proper for your document. So all you do is you come down into your menu and you select, go into Prepare, don't click on it, just hover over it, and you'll be given some other options here, and you want to go up to the top and click on Properties. Now oftentimes you'll have a drop down menu that shows up right here where you can fill in author's name and title and that kind of stuff. For some reason this isn't showing up for me on this document, but if you see this little drop down arrow, it'll give me the option of selecting on advanced properties. And this is exactly what I want to look at here. So I'm going to click into summary. These I can't edit, but if I click into summary, I can edit these fields in here. So I could put in, this is a WordPress subject or WordPress plugins here. I already have my title in there, and you want to type in your title. I have author's name in here, and we'll just say this is actually something that Alicia and I both created, but because it's my computer, it automatically puts in my information. So we'll put Alicia Bosley and Lisa Hanfaletti. I like to put in, for company or extra information, I like to put in a domain name. So for aliciaandlisa.com, and I'm going to go ahead and make this a proper domain name here with HTTP and the colon and the forward slashes, aliciaandlisa.com. The reason for this is then someone can actually find us if they want more information. I could also add in keywords, and this becomes a little bit more important depending on your marketing. I'm not going to do that right now, but you could certainly do that. You could add in comments and that kind of stuff. The other stuff you can ignore, but these things you want to make sure that you put in. And then I'm going to click OK, and it's going to save that. So that's the first thing, properties. The second thing I want to show you how to do is how to add page numbers and how to add a copyright. The fun thing is we're going to be able to do this in one fell swoop here, but I want to show you how to do it individually. So I'm going to click on Insert, and you can come in here and you can add page numbers by clicking there. And it allows you to choose whether or not you want them on the top of the page or the bottom of the page, or somewhere else in a margin. You can get into fancier kinds of things here with formatting, but typically you want to keep your documents so that people recognize things, and they tend to look for page numbers at the very bottom right hand corner or center, or the top of the page right hand corner or center. You can play around with that. Now I could have selected that and added my page numbers, but I also know that I want to add a copyright, and the best place to add a copyright is in the footer. Now you'll notice here when I select footer options, you see I have a place where I can type in text. Anywhere I can type in text, I can type in my copyright. And I'm also noticing that, look at this, some of these give you an option where the page number is in there already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of these that already has the page number in there, and then that way I don't have to do two different things. So I'm going to select this bottom one. So it creates this line there, and the text, I just click in the box for text, and I can type in copyright, and I could put in, you know, the year 2011. I'm going to release this in 2011, and I like to add a domain name. Again, I'm always trying to lead people back to our website or our marketing. So AliciaandLisa.com. Now you can also add in the copyright symbol simply by putting your cursor wherever you want that copyright symbol to go and coming back up to the top here and clicking on insert, and then over here we have symbol, and then select the copyright symbol, and you can see it already popped it in there. So you could also add, you know, all rights reserved or something like that. The page number you can see automatically got filled in. Okay, so to get out of the footer, all I have to do is come back into my document, anywhere in my document, and double click, and it takes me out of the footer. And now you can see the footer is grayed out, and I can't edit that unless I double click back in there again. You can see the footer shows up on every page automatically, and the page numbers automatically get inserted in there too. So it looks very professional. Okay, so we've done properties, we've done page numbers, we've done copyright. Now let's go ahead and add a cover. The cover is also under the insert category. So we inserted page number, footer, and we're going to go all the way over to here to cover. Now they give you some choices of cover pages, and they're kind of tricky because they're not that editable. There are some things about a cover that you can edit and some things that you can't. I'm just going to show you one right here. This gives you some fields that it will allow you to fill in. Now I don't want to put a date right here. I don't want to date my my document, so I'm not going to put anything in there. Now it automatically puts in, it takes from fields that I have put in there, and that was in the document properties. It takes my title. I like my title, but I don't like this right here, so I'm going to change this. So it's taking from my company, and I'm just going to type in Alicia Bosley and Lisa Onfiletti. Okay, and let's see, there are some things, like I said, that you can edit and some things that you can't. We'll just leave it like that for now. I certainly don't want a picture of a car on my cover, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the picture, and I'm going to right click in here, and I'm going to select change picture, and let's just find something in here that looks, here we go. This looks like a WordPress type picture that would fit much better than a car if we're talking about WordPress plugins. And what I can do is I can take this title bar and move this up a bit and then put that in the center there. Okay, so there I have our names, I have the title, I have a picture that looks relevant, and then it's showing my keywords right here. So again, it's going to pull from some stuff that we don't necessarily want in here, so I'm going to delete that. And there we are. And maybe I want to increase I'm not sure if I can move this up. Let's try it. And maybe I want to increase the font. So sometimes it'll let you change things, and sometimes it won't. Don't get too frustrated here. It's just the nature of the game. All right, so there we go. I'm satisfied with that. And now let me show you something that happened when I added that cover. It changed my page numbers because it's counting that first one as page 1, even though it doesn't show up there, and then it's saying page 2 and then page 3. Now if you want your first page to be page 1, it's very easy to change that. You just come back in here and you go to I double clicked in the footer, that's how I got into here, and it has page number. So there's a place down here where it says format page numbers. Just come on in there, and I'm going to say, instead of starting my page at page 1, I'm going to start it at 0. And so it'll count that title page, that cover page, as 0. so that when I say OK, it's not counting this as a page. When I go to my first page, it'll say page 1 and page 2. So that's just a little tip for you. The last thing I want to do is I want to show you how to name this. So I've already named it, so I'm going to have to do a save as right here. And I want to show you this. I have dashes in here, and you either want to use dashes or underscores when you're naming a document. Now, Word lets you name things without putting spaces in there. The problem with that is if I was to name this top 10 must have WordPress plugins, these spaces that show up here, when it becomes a PDF, your program will automatically put % signs or some things in there that by some software and some document readers can turn into gibberish and will prevent your document from being read when someone tries to open it or download it. And that can be really frustrating for them, and it can be super frustrating for you if you're getting a lot of people downloading and they're sending you support tickets or emailing you saying I can't open it. And so you don't ever want to frustrate people. So what I recommend is naming this with underscores or with dashes, and I just happen to be a dash kind of person, so I'm going to name it top 10 must have WordPress plugins, and this is for a PDF example, and I get rid of that last part. There shouldn't be it's showing an ending on there because I've already named it that. And then the document type should automatically be your Word 2007 if it's at the top there, so I'll just make sure you know that. And then I'll click save, and it's telling me I already have a file named that. Do I want to save over it? So it's warning me, and yes, I'm going to save over that file. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to turn this into a PDF. We've taken care of properties, we've done page numbers, we've added the copyright, we've added a very professional cover, and we've made sure that the name doesn't have any dashes in it. So now here's the fun part. Dun, da, da. This is how easy it is to turn your Word document into a PDF. You just come down here and you hover over Save As, and look at this. It says you can save it as a PDF or XPS file, and we want it as a PDF. So it should, if it doesn't say PDF right there, then just use your drop-down menu and you can choose PDF. All right. You don't have to do much with these unless you have really large documents. Then you can play around with that, you can play around with options. But all you have to do is hit Publish. And it's going to think for a minute, and then depending on how big your document is, it will open right up. Now, I promised you that when it printed your document, it wouldn't show this pick date thing. Well, it is showing that, so obviously I'm wrong. So I need to come back into my document here, and I need to find a way to delete that. Oh, I think we did it. So I'm going to click Save. Just want to save over what I have already. So that's gone. And remember, I told you in the cover selections where they're pre-made, sometimes they'll let you edit it and sometimes they won't. So now I'm going to come back to Save As, and I'm going to save my PDF again. And it's the same name. I'm going to publish it. Now it's going to warn me. It's going to say it already exists. Do I want to replace it? And I want to say yes, because I just removed that piece there. Okay, so now, now it's not showing up right there. There's the cover. There's our author names there, and here's page 1. If we scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that page 1 starts right there. There's our copyright, aliciaandlisa.com. And these are all live links in here. If someone was to click on them in the PDF, those would open. So just like any Word document, you can add things in there that can be clickable. All right. So there you have it. That's how you create a PDF. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you turn this PDF into a live link that you can put into an email, or you can post it on a website or a blog, and you can put it in your autoresponder system so that you deliver that free report to them instantly. All right, I'll see you in the next video. One last thing before we go. I promised you that I would show you why it's so important to fill out the document properties. Remember, we were in our Word document and we selected Prepare. I'll just remind you this again. We selected Prepare and then Properties. And in my case, because this doesn't automatically show up, I have a drop-down menu that's for the advanced properties. In any case, we went ahead and we filled those out. And now what happens is when you have a PDF, and I'll just open this up here, and let's decrease the size a little bit just to make it more viewable. So when I right click, your person may have just downloaded your free report here and they're looking at it. When they right click in here, they're given a choice of different things that they can do to change the format or the way they're viewing it or print it out. And one of their selections is document properties. And what happens a lot of times is people forget to fill this stuff out. And this is valuable information for your customer. You can see I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to hit the delete button here. I'm hitting delete or backspace and it won't delete, it won't change. I cannot edit these fields now. And that's because they're automatically put in when you have your document in the Word phase of your formatting. So that's why it's so important that you go in here and you fill out this information. You just need to have something in there. Author and title are absolutely required. Whether or not you put subject or your domain name or keywords or any of that kind of stuff, that's up to you. But my recommendation is to make sure that you have the title of your document and your author. Author or authors, okay? It just makes it look very professional. It's not edited, and so that if somebody tries to pass it off as their document, they won't be able to because the properties will always have your information in there. Okay, that's it.